The film came about because we were contacted by a production company in Paris called Messier Films, and in the Zoom meeting asked us if we had any ideas for a film that we would like to shoot in a luxury department store. And that department store was the Galeries Lafayette in Paris.
And in that meeting, we started spitballing ideas, like right off the bat. And Alex, without missing a beat, threw out, what if it was set in a world where people paid for things by being slapped in the face?
Il y a eu un déclic très rapide de la part d'Alexandre et Natalie. Ils se sont dit, on veut jouer avec les codes de la consommation et pourquoi pas détourner l'acte d'acheter et le rendre proche d'un acte de souffrance.
I was walking in the neighborhood and I saw Natalie and she was like, oh, we are working on this idea of, a world where people slap each other to pay for things. And I was like, oh, that's, weird, but also kind of on brand.
C'est un lieu qui est lié à luxe, lié à la richesse. Il y a tout un rituel de la consommation. Pourquoi pas inventer un nouveau rituel et pour acheter, on se prend des gifles. Et ça, c'était le point de démarrage de tout ce projet. Avec Valentina, on s'est regardé, on s'est dit, ouais, pourquoi pas?
We described it as Carol meets the lobster. And, that certainly made it friendlier. But, when you tell people that it's a film in which people pay for things by being slapped in the face, there's only two responses, laughter or fear. So I offered as a corollary that in this world, if violence was normalized, then intimacy would not be. And the rule that sort of emerged from that was that people were not allowed to kiss.
Something that we quite enjoy in our work is taking a premise that on its face is absolutely ridiculous, but then treating it with utter seriousness and seeing what the repercussions would be for those consequences.
We are in the New York Public Library's picture collection, which is just a hidden gem for us and one of our favorite places in New York. It's where we begin every project.
Yeah, I've been coming here for my visual art work, which led us to, when we started doing films, to begin our research here.
Once we've had an idea, it might not even be a fully formed idea. Yeah, we'll come here and we'll start pulling things that seem relevant to the subject at hand. Oh, here we are, the blackjack again.
Good for the throat.
I mean, that's just something we should use.
Ce qui était très agréable, c'est qu'ils avaient tellement travaillé en amont que les discussions ont très vite été artistiques. Et petit à petit, on a réussi à construire toute une grammaire artistique, toute une direction artistique qui pouvait définir notre dystopie. Par exemple, on a créé tout ce qui est des gammes de parfums sur ce thème-là, qu'on appelait eau de dysenterie, eau de gasoline. Donc tout est axé sur cette dichotomie entre le sale, l'odeur et la beauté. Et après, on s'est très amusé dans les détails, à créer des chewing-gums, des pastilles, à tout pousser au plus profond.
These are some of the posters that our production designer, Anna Brunn, designed with her team. And there's something that maybe upon first viewing, you might never notice. They are in the backgrounds of almost every shot. So when Luana's character, Malez, is on the subway, she's looking at a reflection in the subway door.
And a little sticker that says, I do not approach my lips to the lips of another.
De la façon de travailler d'Alexandre et Natalie, en fait, ils forment un binôme très complémentaire. Et on a vu dans les processus aussi de la création du projet qu'en fait, Alexandre, c'est celui qui a la tendance à amener un peu plus des idées loufoques. Et pour contrebalancer, donc Natalie, elle se met dans une position plus émotionnelle, en fait, pour amener plus d'émotion à l'idée un peu absurde d'Alexandre. Mais tout aussi, toujours de façon très naturelle. Ils sont quand même très drôles parce qu'ils sont très drôles même sur les tournages, même quand ils ne sont pas d'accord, alors qu'ils le sont quasiment tout le temps.
Rezvan, I think, designed maybe 200 different designs.
She said the dress should mean something, and so I described how I had done a project in which I had created a language out of black and white squares, and because of this sort of like cryptic language that I had, we could write a message
inside the dress, which of course is just for us. I mean, it was for us, it was for our team, it was in tribute to Zara, to Rezvan, and the message is woman, life, freedom after the women's demonstration in Iran.
Donc Nat et Alexandre, ils étaient extrêmement minutieuses, extrêmement sensibles aux détails. Ils voyaient tout, même dans leur manière de créer le mood board, de faire le découpage, de tous les détails techniques et artistiques étaient présentes.
Here we have some mood boards in the visual research. This is a collage that we made of the ravine. The center image is always a collage made out of found material. There are often
film references.
You know, here's the conformist and the black and white dress from the conformist.
Yeah.
And then one of the big things that we did for the first time on this film is that we did a pre-visualization of the whole film. So Natalie and I, when we visited all the locations in Paris, we used our phone to scan all of the environment and to rebuild it in a 3D file. And then what this allows you to do is to place your own lights. So I'll switch on the lighting here. And then we could bring in the characters and animate the characters like little marionettes. And so you could block out a scene like this, which normally would be very intimidating, where we have 15 or 20 extras all gathered around in a crowd scene, and we have a character being kidnapped.
But this allowed us to spend like days inside of this room and to really figure out what is the most economical way of shooting, especially because, as I was saying, we shot in the middle of the night. And so we really like didn't have any time to waste.
It was intense because when we were shooting in the store, we were actually waiting behind the doors at 8 in the evening for the last tourist to leave in order to rush in the store with all the crew, all the lighting, the camera, the set design, and set up everything every night. And then every morning at 6 in the morning, we had to stop shooting and then everything, like put everything back in the backstage in order for the store to open at 8 or 9 in the morning.
Donc on a été une organisation en flux tendu, mais c'était assez magique, à vrai dire.
What I loved about this film is that, you know, we go to the heart of the story, and I feel that black and white was very powerful and actually really fun for me to work with. How to show, you know, a shiny place just in black and white with no colors, because colors can be very complicated, especially in a store. And we wanted to be really focused on the characters. It's a story about characters, and they lead every shot. And you know, we had been looking for weeks on this animatic, and then you have like those amazing actresses coming to life. It was such a great experience for me working with them as a camera operator as well, because you know, Luana Bajrami and Zara Amir are also directors, and I could feel that all the time. Like, they always understood exactly what we were doing, and that was amazing for me and for the directors, obviously. But I think there is nothing more motivating for a crew to have such skilled and professional actresses to work with. And something that I felt, and I think I'm not the only one, is that among this amazing, extensive preparation, I feel we were all working together, but also working in trust. I was with two directors that were trusting their crew, that were thankful to everyone, and also Alex and Natalie had this, you know, warmth in them that I think brought people together.
For us, I think we think science fiction posits a question of the audience, be careful, this is how things could go. Whereas absurdism says, this is how things already are, you just don't see it because you're so used to it. And so it was something we were really thinking about tonally when we were writing the film.
Yeah, I think that there's something about using a bit of humor in order to address the darkness that makes it more inviting, more approachable. And that's also really important.
That's also our experience of life. Life is the horrific and the ridiculous all molded into one, be it in the political sphere, but also in our personal lives. The human experience isn't dividable in genres in the way that film is. It's all mixed into one another.